All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CAGcast episode number 714. I'm your host, GBD, here in Long Island, New York. And as always, we're joined by a man who also gets paid to lose, Wombat.
Woo, that's it. That's my stratagem.
Shipwreck's got scores on football scores coming up underneath him.
Yes, he does.
What do you call that? The lower thirds? Ticker, sports ticker with the Cincinnati
ticker, the crawl,
sports crawl, Cincinnati 27, Kansas City 24. You should have had no air horn sound effects.
Oh,
Too late.
I have some sound effects somewhere here. I don't know what this is going to do. I'm afraid to hit the button. I don't know what that one is.
Okay, don't. Then don't.
I won't.
All right, then.
So, did you cry?
Yeah. I was close.
You laughed at the idea of crying last week.
Yeah, I teared up like as the field goal was going through.
Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty unbelievable.
It was pretty cool. I mean, we were going crazy in my house, I'll be honest, as well. My son has become a big Bengals fan because of you. He
doesn't get to ride this train. Come on. Maybe in the back.
He was also in tears.
Lightweight.
I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it hasn't happened in his entire lifetime.
It's hardly happened in my lifetime.
I know. It hasn't happened since 88.
This is really all about Elliot, if you think about it.
No, I know. I was trying to.
It's exciting. Kids his age think the Bengals could be good.
The dream is still alive. It's very alive.
It is.
It's alive for you too. Very alive.
So walk us through like the game itself in your house. Not that I wasn't, in communication with you while the game was happening.
Sure. So it was me and my family, and then my Mrs. Shipwreck's sister and her parents. So it's the usual crew at our house to watch football games. So her sister is like super Bengals fan, like yelling at the TV constantly. So there was a lot of yelling. I was pretty calm because the Chiefs didn't put the Bengals away. Like they were down 21-3, but the whole time was like everything's kind of going the Chiefs' way, and the Bengals haven't really like started yet.
Were there any wings?
We ordered the big nacho plate from Chewy's.
The dog food company?
Look, things are tight over at the Shipwreck's house.
Do you not have Chewy's?
No, we don't have Chewy's.
You don't have Chewy's. It's a Tex-Mex place.
I mean, I figured that out when you said big nacho plate.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't have Chewy's. It seems like it would be very big on Long Island.
We have, our fair
we have good
share.
Food.
But it's like Chili's, but like a better Chili's.
Well, that's not saying much. I think the bar is pretty low there. I mean, to be honest, I haven't been into a Chili's ever. I don't know.
I did a lot of laundry during the game, like during the stressful portions of the game, and some pacing, lots of pacing.
Folding the same shirt over and over again.
Yeah. But then I was pretty calm for the most part because, I mean, the Bengals actually played better than the Chiefs. Like for over the course of the whole game, they played better. So, and the Bengals are really good at second half adjustments. So I was pretty calm. Wombat knows. I was texting him during the whole
we
game.
were texting the whole game. GP was on the thread. I don't know if he read any of it, but no, it was a very exciting
I know when
game.
to turn notifications off.
I'm glad I watched it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. So good job. Good job.
The mob set up some great games this
I mean,
playoffs.
We'll get to that. So we haven't gotten there yet.
What's the mob? I don't even know what that means. Oh, the mob, mafia.
Yeah.
I thought that was a football term. Like the fans of the Bengals are called the mob. I mean, it makes sense.
The actual Cosa Nostra.
The actual mob. Yeah, that was so. Congratulations. So when's the Super Bowl? Like 2 weeks?
Yeah, not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
So you can have wings for that?
We're getting there's a local deli called Cervati's, and we're getting sandwiches from there.
No wings?
That sounds good.
I guess wings aren't big in Ohio.
We have a Super Bowl tradition in my house that my
Wings?
wife have been doing since we've been engaged. So this is going on maybe 19 years.
Mm.
And it's the only time of year we eat this. And I know you're going to be judgy, Chibi, because it's
Ass.
like your thing.
Is it ass?
It's not eating ass. That's like a weekly thing. Come on.
Of course.
It's the one time a year we get it, and we get too much and regret it instantly. Only on the Super Bowl, and it's White Castle.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
We get White Castle on Super Bowl Sunday. We go and we spend like $50.
Do you go to White Castle, or you don't get the frozen ones because they cost too much?
No, we go to White Castle and get fresh White Castle.
But it's the same shit, really, right? Fresh. Is there such thing as fresh White Castle?
100%. It tastes so much different.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
night and day.
I would not even think
They
about
unfreeze them
arguing.
better. They
Yeah, and we-
unfreeze them better at the
And we
White
get
Castle.
the chicken
Right,
rings
exactly.
and whatever weird shit they have on the menu that they
Right.
didn't have before.
Right.
Like we go all out. We put it all, we put it on the table, and that's like our Super Bowl.
They're still in business?
Yeah, it's our Super Bowl. There's one actually not too far from my house,
Have-
and yet, like I say, I only go once a year. Because
It's a
even
big
I can't.
Valentine's Day thing.
It is a big
Valentine's Day
Mhm.
reservations and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that.
That's not a joke? That's a real thing?
No,
It's
that's
a
a real
real-
thing.
Oh, wow.
I get like the targeted ads because I, look at too many fast food things. I get the they have that Valentine's Day special. Like you reserve now.
I had
I'm like,
no idea. Wow.
Even I'm not doing that. So
I used to live so close to a White Castle. Remember the White Castle by the Empire State Building?
oh okay, yes.
So I used to live like a 10-minute walk from there, and we used to go all the time. And then one day I went there and it was shut
there was-
down.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say and there was a rat serving the food. And they were
No,
like,
but
don't worry, he just works here.
they're just outside all over. But
Yeah,
I remember, and I would literally drop to my knees when I
Mhm.
saw the closed White Castle and yelled no up to the sky, because it was really like a great part of the neighborhood, and it never rebounded.
yeah, it's where it starts.
Should we do some show feedback? It's related to your football talk,
I know. I'm gonna read it all up in a row.
because
and then I'm
last
gonna
week you made the claim. Wombat made the claim, not CAG Productions LLC, but Wombat made the claim that the NFL might be rigged.
Yeah, maybe there might be some shenanigans going on in the NFL, and these were the comments. Goda had to say, add NFL football to the list of topics that Wombat is a quote unquote expert on, but knows nothing about. Kura Funawe said it was painful to listen to, like a conspiracy theory from a Joe Rogan podcast. Maybe it was a bit. Strange Brew had to say, you're such a hypocrite and an idiot. You should make a Reddit account. You'd fit right in. 1-star rating for a 1-star personality. Smarmy chump.
Strange Brew has some rough comments. I remember that name. Great movie
Yeah.
though. Don't let it distract you from the fantastic movie.
And Dragoon Knight had to say, I'm glad everyone else called Wombat out for his ridiculous conspiracy theories about the NFL. I'm not opposed to a healthy amount of skepticism, but when he started talking about coaches purposely changing play calls to affect player prop bets, come on. Now, these are the two headlines from this week after the show. Hugh Jackson suggests he was paid extra for losses as Browns head coach. And Brian Flores alleges that Dolphins owner Stephen Ross attempted to incentivize him to tank or purposely lose games shortly after he was hired in 2019, with Ross allegedly offering Flores $100,000 for every loss that season.
Yikes.
So now here's where I heard from some people, they're like, well, those were losses to try to get better draft picks, not to affect gambling.
Yeah.
But guess what?
That's the purpose of those, right? But
it's a lot of the things that people said, including Mr. Shipwreck, whom I love, was like, there's no way that owners are telling coaches to throw a football game.
not a real one. That's a totally different scenario there, though.
Wait, what do you mean? That's the real scenario.
It's
But
still
those
a
are
real
because
football
that's
game.
because they wanted the number one draft pick.
Okay, but that's still throwing football games. And the problem is that none of this exists in a vacuum. So you think nobody knew that the coaches are getting paid $100,000? I mean, there's definitely people who knew, and they can
I
make
don't think they
bets
got
and
paid.
tell
There's
people to
nothing
make
that
bets.
says-
And now-
there's nothing
and
that
this
said
was
any of them
all-
got paid for losses, though. Both of these things have been like, hey, we were offered money to lose.
Well, Hugh
right?
Hugh Jackson, I think, is
Hugh
saying
Jackson
he took,
would be super rich.
I think he
Huge
said
asshole.
he took. I think he said he took the money. In
He
for
could.
losses.
I mean, he was going to lose anyways, so he might as well been taking the money.
But that's kind of fucked up. I mean, that's not kind of fucked up. That's pretty fucked up that in a
did he win,
professional
like
sporting team.
one game in 2 years, something like that.
Well, he's being paid to lose. It's really hard to stay motivated when you're being paid to lose. It sounds like a fucking movie, like a comedy movie. I mean, there's several, Ted Lasso is fucking based
I'm
on
just
this
saying
shit.
that if this is what they're admitting to,
Right.
what are they not admitting to?
Yes.
That maybe I'm not as crazy. I'm not saying that everything I said was right. It's very well possible that I
Okay, Whoopi.
overstated some things, and I will fully admit that. But to say that when it rains, it doesn't pour in this situation, that if owners are willing to tell coaches to throw a game because of, because they want the draft pick, at what point does it become, okay, well, I have the Cosa Nostra on my ass. If we don't lose this game or win this game by 2 points or lose this game by, within this spread, so then something bad's gonna, I need that kickback. Here's $1 million to make sure that this game stays within the spread. It all trickles down. It's $1 million to the owner. That's $100,000 to the coach. It's not as implausible in a world where games are already being thrown for other reasons. I'm not saying it's happening. I'm just saying it's not as improbable as it was a week ago, because we now live in a world
at the
where
same time,
coaches are,
though, like we went, and I know at least I did, and I was talking to you about it. Like I looked up, like, hey, what are like the scenarios or the ones where people thought something was going on. And I linked you to that article. It was absolute trash. Like, it made no sense whatsoever what they were.
Oh yeah, that was someone. Yeah, that was a trash article, but that was also before this.
Yeah,
this is a whole new thing that makes me seem a little less crazy. And I always go back to, I remember when because I think this is because it's an experience that maybe only I have. When I was about 15 years old, I worked in the local video store. Remember local video stores?
Yes.
Yeah, I worked at the one in town, and probably Thursdays would be my guess. A guy would come in and he would hand my boss the slip of paper, and it had all the games on it, and he would circle the things on the piece of paper, and he would give him the paper with the cash. And then on Monday, depending upon how he did, either the same guy would come in and hand him his winnings, or a different guy would come in and they have to go in the back and make an agreement. So, it's
a payment plan.
Yeah. And the paper guy, I knew him, and he would literally, that was his day. He would go from every store in town and get the thing.
Big bets.
And I'm just wondering, is that like an isolated thing that was only in my town?
No, no. If you listen, I mean, Artie Lang did that like every week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's
usually
like that's a thing.
They do it on the phone now, I think.
But it's still a thing.
Well, now you can just do it on the fucking internet.
Yeah. Well,
There's
now
an
it's
app
legal.
for that.
Now it's legal.
Right.
So I'm saying, when it was illegal, the idea that all of this money changing hands with no taxes or government involvement at all being kind of shady, to assume that this couldn't trickle up to the actual games itself in a world where coaches are being told to throw games for draft picks, I don't think is so implausibly insane as people said it was.
Congratulations, Wombat, on not being that insane.
Yeah.
Just a little insane.
And that's literally all where I'm going. I'm not as crazy as the comments suggest.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how much of this stuff sticks. That these two coaches are. These two coaches were unceremoniously fired after being put in terrible situations to begin with.
Mm-hmm. That is
right?
true.
And I don't know if you remember it in 2019. You probably don't remember it because this is just like a game that the Dolphins fans and Bengals fans would remember. There was a game where both the Dolphins and Bengals were competing for the number 1 pick, who was Joe Burrow, and the Dolphins were up 23, I think, going into the fourth quarter, and the Bengals came back and tied it up, and went to overtime, and the Bengals were just all they had to do was lose that game, and they had the number 1 pick. And so I'm sure that's the type of game where I'm like, really? We came back from 23 points down without
we decided to win a game.
Yeah, in this story, where it seems like that owner probably had some stuff going on. It's like, you guys better win. You better lose this game, and they ended up winning it anyways. The Dolphins did, but yeah, this is. I think some of this stuff is coming out because these coaches were fired in a not great way to begin with.
Right.
Neither one of them probably had totally just cause for getting fired after 2 seasons. Hugh Jackson had a horrible record, but he also had a horrible team.
And his name is H-U-E. I mean, what kind of name is that?
Hugh. It's like a light bulb.
Right. That's ridiculous.
He was a Bengals coach for a long time.
He's a bright guy.
What about this guy with the Bill Belichick and the texting, the coach that went for an interview for no reason?
That's Brian Flores. That's the same thing.
Oh, same guy?
Same guy.
Brian Flores is having a week.
Yeah. He should, though. I mean, he got a really raw deal.
Yeah, he got screwed. He got screwed in Miami. Then he got screwed on interviews. The Giants kind of fucked up with that one. And it's like a whole thing. There's a lot of nonsense going on. And, all I'm saying is that I am very interested to see how this legal gambling all pans out, because I feel like it just puts a spotlight on things that people probably didn't notice and or care about as much before.
Mm.
Because now it's not just that there's legal gambling. It's every single commercial during a football game. It's not cars, drugs, and beer anymore. It's bet on football, something else. Bet on football with this app instead, something else. Bet on. You have stadiums named after, I think there's a FanDuel stadium now too, isn't there? Or one of the casinos has a stadium.
There's at least a couple, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And, FanDuel's the official betting app of the NFL. I mean, these are all things that are mind boggling to me.
Right.
The season commercials are the best ones, though.
Because I grew up, it should be even more mind-boggling for Shipwreck, who grew up in a world with Pete Rose not being in the Hall of Fame. It's just, it's.
So you think the coaches are betting now on their own games on the apps?
I don't think the coaches are betting in the apps. No, I just think that there might be more at play because they're making gambling so mainstream. Where is the money and where's the better money to be made? And if you think the owners care about winning more than they care about money, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if the owners care about winning more than money. I'm not saying it's a player thing or even a coach thing. If anything, it's probably an owner thing. That's that's my tinfoil hat speech of the day.
Awesome. Let's never speak about football again. Hopefully the Bengals. No, I'm just kidding. Hopefully the Bengals win and we can celebrate.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. That'll just be a celebratory.
Yes, and then we can never speak about it again. Because now, what do you do? No reason to watch football anymore for you, Ship. They can't win more. They're probably not going to win again.
Let's just win one.
Yeah. Good plan. I like that.
Before we talk about future stuff, just one.